Good night, good night, good night. Welcome again to another episode of Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Podcast. And tonight, I have another amazing guest. And her name is Kimberly Forrester, and her business is Wellness Kitchen by Kim, right? And she's so amazing. I met her recently at a trade show, and she have a book. She brought out a book 100 recipes, beetroot recipes. I mean, you all really had to tune in to listen to this author. And before this podcast over, I recommend all my friends to purchase a book. So Kim will tell us where to find it and all of that, right? So let's bring on Kim and welcome. Good night, Kim.
Hi, Victor. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Welcome to Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Podcast, and it's an honor to have you, Kim.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So usually, before I start and talk and we have fun, I give you the opportunity to introduce yourself again, apart from me,
Okay.
and whoever you feel you want to do it together with all that you do. I think you're the best person to really put it out there. Yeah.
All right. So I am Kimberly Forrester. I am Trinidadian, but interestingly, I spent 10 years in Jamaica. So I identify as a Caribbean person. Um, so yeah, I moved home back to Trinidad back in 2017, and in 2019 I started my business, and I had this passion for cooking and for just like eating well and eating local. So I started my business to sort of focus on healthier Caribbean food so that we could enjoy it and like not feel guilty, not feel any way about it, and I just feel good. So 1 year into running the business, I thought I should start my first cookbook, and I picked beets. I had already had like 5 to 10 beetroot recipes on rotation at the kitchen on the menu. So I'm like, how hard will it be to just do 100? So for about 4 years, a group of us, well, myself and two of my friends from secondary school collaborated. I wrote everything, I did everything, and they helped with the pictures. I did the food styling, and they did the photography. And yeah, I brought on another friend from secondary school as well, and she did the design and layout of the book. And with the four of us, we sort of made a dream team. And, I was able to bring the book to fruition. Like, it's a hardcover. I wanted it like a decent size that could fit on your counter, not too big, not too small. It lays flat, and I figured with something like beetroot, you had to give people a visual. So we actually took pictures of every recipe in the book. So no matter which recipe you choose to make, you can have a visual of what it should look like when you are complete.
All right, excellent. And that's a journey, though. And it's nice
Yes.
that you incorporate your friends and those people to help work on that book with
Yeah.
you. And what I would ask, though, Kim, is that why beetroot? Why beetroot? Why you choose beetroot to be that? There's so many other vegetables and fruits and things. Why beetroot? How come that become your star? What's so special about beetroot?
So I've always loved beets. Like I've always loved most of my vegetables, but beet has such a beautiful color, and it's such a nutrient dense food, but very low in calories. So you don't have to. Beetroot is not like a sweet potato. So when you're having sweet potato, you're like, oh, you can't have too much sweet potato. But with beets, like you can enjoy a reasonable amount and not have to worry. Like I had 500 calories worth of beets or anything like that. And it was such a pretty color. And when I started working with it and working on the book, I realized like it is so versatile. Like there's so many things you can do with it. There's so many ways you can apply it. And I didn't just write the book for beats, it was also a cookbook so that, people can learn how to cook. So, yes, the book is about beetroot, but it also teaches you how to cook. There are things like mashed potatoes, macaroni pie, but like apple pie. There's like a beetroot applesauce cake that you can have like for a breakfast cake. There's hash, there's sweet oatmeal, there's a savory oatmeal, there's an eggs benedict. So it's not just like you hear beetroot, like yes, it features beetroot, yes, everything has beetroot, but not everything is like a chunk of beetroot, like how you typically see it when you go out to eat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, amazing, because and it's good because when I saw the book, it's 100 ways. So I assume, as most people, well, 100. I thought it would have 100 recipes inside of it beetroot, and basically saying there's other recipes, which is good as well, right? Because sometimes we trainees, as we will say, beetroot is just like two slices inside our plate, not knowing that you can do so many things with beetroot. You know?
Correct. And
Yeah.
there are actually recipes in the book that when you have your Sunday beetroot, two slices at the side of your plate, fine. But there are a lot of recipes in the book that will incorporate different ways to use your
Hmm.
leftover Sunday beets. So it's
Oh.
also a book that will be ideal for people who are into batch cooking and meal prep. So beet takes a long time to cook if you are cooking it, but if you do roast them or you boil them, there are applications that you can, like different recipes. You can even batch cook like 3 pounds of beet, 5 pounds of beet on a weekend. And there are multiple recipes that you can use these already cooked beets in throughout the week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I learned something there already because for me personally, two things I know beat. I mean, well, smoothie. I put piece of beetroot in my smoothie,
Mm-hmm.
and a slice or two on my plate as a fitness person myself. But again, based on what you're saying there, like if cook and have beetroot leftovers, I mean, might just you know what I mean. But based on what you know,
Yeah,
say that you can do something with it. And I think
correct.
right now where we are in in economy, saving is it's good,
Correct.
and but beetroot, so you sound so passionate about beet because when I met you at beetroot shots and all, you do
Yeah,
beetroot shots, right? So we're gonna
correct.
talk about that as well because I think we all know beetroot is it's good in iron, it's good for you. So that's a fact. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I have been to a lot of pop-ups and symposiums based on what I do, and that was the first time I saw beetroot shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, turmeric and ginger and those kind of things. No. So that's why I stopped because it was unusual to me,
Yeah.
and it tastes awesome, and it was excellent. So you're not just the beetroot person; you actually do more than that. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
right. So you mentioned earlier on that you always in love with beetroot.
Yeah.
He was fascinated with beetroot, and then he found out it have so much healthy ingredients and it's good for you and all of that.
So for me, I think I'm a person like if I feel like there's more you can do with something, I'm gonna explore the more that you can do with it. So, like I said, it's a lot of there are a lot of recipes that mix other vegetables as well because I don't believe that everybody should just eat beets alone or
Yeah,
like
well,
your vegetables should be beetroot only. But I just feel like we tend to consume the same things because we lack the knowledge on how to prepare other things to taste good. So that
correct.
was really the aim. And in terms of like juicing, like I'm glad you mentioned the wellness shots. So there are multiple drinks in the book, and I actually love having like beetroot juice or like a wellness shot before I go to work out, or like if I just need like a boost of energy because it's so good for you. So there's like a tea, a lemongrass iced tea. And what I did, I tried to promote local ingredients, like Caribbean ingredients, things that we produce and it's easily accessible. And
Hmm.
that is also good for us. And I feel like we need a lot of sugar-free alternatives
Yes, yes,
that
yes.
taste good. And especially now that it's July, August, and it's so extremely hot, there are also like some pretty refreshing things. There's actually a beetroot sorbet in it as well that has like maybe 5 ingredients, again, all locally produced. And a topic I want to touch up on is like food waste and how important it is for us to reduce our food waste. So what I did in the book, typically when I make all the wellness shots, all of the juices and stuff, and we juice the beetroot, you typically discard the pulp. However, that pulp is actually full of nutrients and full of fiber. And you see it with all vegetables that you juice. Most times you just chuck the trash that's left back. But with the beets, what we do, we wash and peel the beets thoroughly. And then after we juice them, we use the pulp in things like cookies and
Okay.
brownies and stuff and like banana bread. So,
Okay.
you get to add more moisture in some of your baked goods and reduce the amount of fat, like you reduce the amount of oil and butter that you put in there because you're getting some moisture from the beetroot pulp. So I also try to incorporate stuff like that in the recipes so that people can also, reduce their food waste. Because I think a couple years ago, like a couple decades ago, we produced a lot less waste, and now we're just very wasteful people, and I think we all need to do what we can to reduce all types of waste, but also our food waste.
I agree with you. And I mean, I need to get one of his book because I waste a lot in the sense of if I use a beetroot in my punch, usually it's a
Hmm.
punch or slice. I mean, the pulp straight away, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that because I'm sure I am not the only one who does things like that, whereby when we using vegetables or fruit, we use what we
Hmm.
think is more nutritious, right,
Yeah.
than the pulp or the skin. And
Yeah.
you have that as well in the book as well, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Amazing. All right. So the book is not just about the actual inside of the beetroot, but the pulp and what you can
Yeah.
do, what
Everything.
everything. Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
So how about the people who don't like beetroot? Truly is. What would you say to the people who don't like beetroot? Come here.
So for the people that don't like beetroot, there are a lot of recipes that you cannot taste the beetroot. There are also some recipes that you can't even like see that it's beetroot. Like you can't tell that any sort of beetroot is in there. Because if you use like, so for example, the banana bread, I use a lot of pulp in the recipe, but it oxidizes when it bakes. So it looks brown, just like a regular banana bread.
Hmm.
Same thing with the cake. There's like a beetroot applesauce cake, and a couple other things. You can't tell the beet is in there. I think there's a beetroot and blueberry compote. Even the pasta sauce. Like I made a beetroot and rosemary pasta sauce. You can't really taste, even though it looks like beets. It does not. The taste is not very beetroot forward.
Wow. So I want to ask this: in the no, you put 100. Does it really have 100 recipes in there?
It has. I counted.
100.
100.
So
We
why
actually
the?
did 125, and I chose my top 100.
Yeah, because it's like 100. Why shouldn't go like 50, 100? You know what I mean? 100. So it's definitely 100.
Definitely 100.
And also that 100, let me ask you this. Does it have any recipe that in there that, that you particularly is your favorite in the sense of, I know all is good, but like for you
Mhm.
to say, just like, I may have a favorite exercise I like, or a favorite meal. So someone who's the author of a book, with recipes, healthy recipes, does it have any standout for you?
I have like one from each category. So I made some pizza with the beetroots,
Oh.
and I make a balsamic glazed beetroots, and there is a pizza that has the balsamic glaze beetroot on it. It's very unique, but I love it. I love the combination of flavors that go into it. There's a beetroot pasta sauce. I love pizza, so there's a beetroot pasta sauce, which is good for like people who don't like beets and people who have kids that they want to like eat more beets or eat more vegetables. We
Hmm.
just blend up the beets into the pasta sauce, and pasta sauce is already red, so you can't tell. But you can get a full serving of beetroot in your pizza without knowing that it's even there. Um, there's a beetroot slider that I made where it's just a slice of roasted beets, but I pair it with a kale and walnut pesto and a mint goat cheese on a
Hmm.
ciabatta bread, and that is a really good sandwich. I love all my sandwiches. The chickpea burger is great. The black bean burger is great. I make a falafel. That's great. Pickled beets are great. I have a beetroot and goat cheese salad. I love like I have like top 20. Like
Out of the 100, ain't bad
out
actually.
of the 100, I have
There's
like
a
a
bad.
top 20. I like all
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
But and again, at Wellness Kitchen, what we do, a lot of the recipes from Beats by Kim actually goes onto the menu at Wellness Kitchen. So yes, I wrote the book, but a lot of times we have the beetroot. Like we had roasted beets this week. Next week there's a beetroot and goat cheese salad on the menu. Um, Sometimes, but anytime we have the opportunity to cater an event, I incorporate a beetroot dish on the menu some way, somehow. Um, because again, it's good for you. All the other vegetables are there. Why shouldn't beetroot be there as well?
Well said. Well said. I agree with you as a beetroot ambassador. I will call it a beetroot ambassador. So, many times, I've been approached, people is like eating healthy. There's a myth that eating healthy or food that is prepared healthy don't taste too good, right?
Mhm.
So, how did you manage to balance healthy recipe that tastes good?
I use a lot of fresh herbs
Mm-hmm.
and I pair. So with each recipe, the pairings are unique. So I pair different things together so that you get like the maximum flavor out of the
Mm-hmm.
combination. And I've always been big on growing like our own herbs and stuff like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
use a lot of mint, a lot of rosemary, a lot of lemon, a lot of lemongrass, some ginger. So there are key flavors that work well with beets, and I focus more on that. So I'm not very big on like prepackaged condiments and sauces and stuff like that. So we tend to make everything from scratch at Wellness Kitchen, and I took the same approach when writing the recipes for the book. So it's really about knowing how to pair flavors together to get the maximum amount of flavor.
And if I am a person who busy, if I say, hey, Kim,
Mhm.
I'm hustling, I want a quick, healthy beetroot dish. What is the first thing pop up your head?
My beetroot salad.
Oh.
Because and I've been making that years before I even thought I would write a
Mm-hmm.
book. But it's really I mandolin the beets so they are really thin. And then I
Mm-hmm.
do a very quick pickle with a little bit of coconut sugar, some red wine vinegar, and a little bit of pink salt, black pepper, and you just like mush it up with your hands, let it marinate, and it will get the texture will get a little bit softer. And you could add whatever fresh herbs or whatever you have to it, and you can have it on salad greens. Put a little bit of cheese in there, and you're good to go.
Okay, so your salad, beetroot salad,
Hmm.
is don't have protein in it, or it's just
I mean,
um.
you add. So what I the approach I took with the book, I
Mm-hmm.
beetroot is a vegetable. We have a lot of vegetarians. There are a lot of vegans.
Mm-hmm.
So the majority of the book is vegetarian. There's about 35% of the recipes are vegan. There are one or two with meat. So
Mm-hmm.
the approach I took is there is a recipe to roast chicken. You could learn how to cook lamb in the book if you don't
Mm-hmm.
already know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make your dishes and you just add your protein
Correct. Correct.
however you like
Correct.
to have. So
Yeah.
again, you will have your regular roast chicken. You might have barbecue or jerk or however you cook your chicken normally. But what are the sides? Because we tend to see the same things over and over again. People know how to make five things, and it's also very repetitive. But this, shows you how to make like different rice with beetroot, stuff like that, like baked vegetables with beetroot. So it's really easy to just add a protein to it, like a piece of salmon or something, and
Correct.
you have
Correct.
like a complete meal.
Correct. Is there any out of the 100 recipes that they have there? Does it have one at least that is when people hear the name, it's like, what? What's that? That you think will be doesn't mean it tastes bad or anything, but just by hearing any name now, it may be like, I wonder what is this?
Um,
Bad name,
there's
does he say?
a beetroot focaccia. Some people don't know what a focaccia is. It's a
Oh.
type of bread. So they may read it, they may see the name and not know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is, I mean, there's a savory bread pudding that might throw people off because I don't think savory bread pudding is very popular here.
No, I've never heard of that.
I had it for the first time in Kingston. At afternoon tea, there was a callaloo and cheese bread pudding. Callaloo is like Jamaican spinach. Um, and it was so good. Like, it was so good hot. It was so good cold. And I'm like, why is Trinidad loves bread pudding? I'm like, why aren't we making savory bread puddings? People have leftover bread. So it's actually packed with like things like bacon, mushrooms, beetroot, and it's really just to show you guys that you can incorporate vegetables into bread pudding. And it is something that you could use for meal prep as well. It has eggs, it has milk, like it is like a little balanced little muffin that you can
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Because nobody said you can't have carbs, nobody said you can't have bread. So it's really just to show people that we can enjoy the things that we like. We could add beetroot to it. We can make it taste good. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and again, as I said earlier on, because based on listening to you there, it's just to show and for people to see that the myth again, as I mentioned before, the myth of
Mm-hmm.
eating healthy or preparing healthy meals
Mm-hmm.
or even dessert can taste good, right?
Yeah.
So that book doesn't have dessert that is inclusive of beetroot.
Yeah, there are a lot of desserts.
Okay, yeah,
So
well,
I have one of my favorite ones that I would eat like when I'm in the gym and stuff. There
mhm.
is a beetroot and sweet potato brownie that just incorporates the beetroot pulp, boiled sweet potatoes, cocoa, eggs, peanut butter, some dark chocolate, and a little bit of honey. But it is so good. It is so nutrient dense, and it provides so much energy without the flour, without the sugar. But there are other things like I have an apple pie. There's an apple and beetroot galette. I have a cobbler. There's a lychee and beetroot roulade, so like a Swiss roll, but instead of covering it with sugar and filling it with jam, I do a lightly whipped cream with some beetroot and some lychee. So it's very light, not very sweet. There's a banana bread. I did a mascarpone tart. There are a lot of desserts.
You know, the one you mentioned just now about the dark chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
that one sounds, for me who listening to the ingredients, who know a little
Mm-hmm.
bit about, nutritious stuff,
Hmm.
it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And also for somebody like me who don't eat nothing else but healthy snack that is limited to get in
Mhm.
Trinidad, when I feel to snack, it's very difficult for me to find healthy snacks. You should know that,
Yeah.
right? And I know when this podcast finish and I get onto you sometime in this month,
Mm-hmm.
remind me, remind me
To
of
try
that
the
one.
brownies.
I want
Yeah.
to try that one, and
Yeah.
I am a big fan. I love banana bread.
Okay.
When I stopped eat flour years ago,
Mm-hmm.
it was breaking my heart not to. I couldn't get my banana bread because I
Maybe
stopped
banana
eat,
bread. Yeah.
flour and gluten and all of that. And someone gave me for my Christmas a fruit friend of mine, a coworker, 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
brought a banana bread for me. She said, Vic, I brought a banana bread for you. She said, but before you continue and say where I know you're going to say, it's made with not flour,
Yeah.
right? So I am glad that you mentioned that. So for snacking for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even asking your price because the answer is yes anyhow. You
Yeah.
know, because I will want to try that me personally. Apart from your food, I think I mentioned to you before, I will
Yeah.
try your, a couple of orders for the kitchen, right? And one another thing is that when you came out with the book, like let's just say, not the friends who supported you,
Mm-hmm.
like other people who like family, other friends
Mm-hmm.
who wasn't involved, when you tell
Yeah.
them, you publish a book and it's the name and what it's about, how did they react? Did they find it for where? Why be true and why? Again, training again. So,
Yeah.
was there any wild reaction from those who weren't
Um,
involved?
Not really. I think people they found it interesting, and I think the cover is like a big catch, where
Mhm.
it's not like the cover. Like look at the cover, it's all beetroot.
It's
So
lovely. It's
I
lovely.
think if the cover was my face, or if the cover was just like a bunch of beetroots, people
Hmm.
may have reacted differently. But I think because we chose four pictures, one from each category, sort of thing, for the cover, when people see it, before they can have like a what could you even do, they can already see four beautiful things that you can make. So it's a lot more convincing that I made 100 with the cover design that we went with, as opposed to something like just my face
Yeah.
holding like a basket of beets or something like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, but I've always, I said it from the beginning, that beetroot is a love or hate vegetables. People don't feel indifferent about beetroot. Everybody has a strong feeling. They either love it or they hate it. And I mean, there have been people who like skinned up their face and was like, why beetroot? Everybody hates beetroot. But not everybody hates beets. And I think everybody should be having more beets, at least some amount of beets.
And that's good. And there's people who don't like apple. There's people who don't like grape. There's people who don't like
Yeah.
bananas. And beach is just something, another one. So, and as
Yeah.
you mentioned that, you think there's any beetroot hater that you can put that you know by tasting
There
your
are
meal?
people, I do
Yeah.
have friends who hate beets, who've had
Mhm.
beets, because I'm like, you can't come to my book lunch and not eat the things that I served.
Well, it
So
makes
that
sense.
was one approach I took. So exactly like how you met me and you tried the wellness shot, my dream, which I was able to achieve when I was writing the book, I said every single book event that I have, I would like to offer samples from the book. So for my book launch, there was like a full spread of items from the book. I did a launch in Trinidad, one in Jamaica, one in Miami, and one in Toronto. And for every event, we served dishes from the book. So people can visualize that there are things that look like beets, things that don't. Even for like TV interviews and stuff like that, I typically opt to do items from the book so that people can see and taste that, beetroot does not have to be as intimidating as we think it is.
So, if there's only one thing you want people to take away from reading that book,
Hmm.
what would it be?
Um, you don't have to be afraid to cook.
All right. So for somebody like me, who probably is a great cook, all right, how would you convince me to purchase a book if I didn't know you and know your
Mhm.
background and as like let's say I'm a guest somewhere where you're promoting your book and it's like, you know, can this really help me be a better cook? Because a lot of trainees don't like to cook still. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So, I would tell you that it is a well written book. I invested a lot of time in making sure that the instructions are concise and easy to read and easy to follow. Because I think I'm of the belief that sometimes people don't cook because when they follow a recipe, their food does not come out looking like the picture. And then they feel like it is their fault. But I'm here to tell you a little secret. Sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes you are making a bad recipe. And no matter how good you are, the recipe is a bad recipe. So the food will always come out bad if you follow that recipe.
all
So
right.
what I did, I like quadruple tested
Hmm.
all 100 recipes in the book, retested multiple times, so that if you are able to read and understand what you've read, it is very easy for you to follow the instructions in the book. And I also took a different approach in writing the index of the cookbook. So it's based on how the beetroot is prepared. So if you have grated beetroot, that you just flip to the index and you look under grated, and you can see all the recipes you can make with grated beetroots. So you don't have to spend time looking for recipes, and then you're like, oh wait, no, I needed a balsamic beetroot for this, but I only have boiled beetroots. You know, the index is written in a way that it is very user friendly,
Okay.
and that was really the aim in writing. It wasn't just about the 100 recipes, it was also about writing a cookbook that was user friendly, easy to read, easy to understand, so that you don't have to open the book and feel intimidated. You know, so it's easy to know what you feel like making. If you feel for breakfast, if you feel for a dessert, it's very easy to work through, to make a decision on what you would like to have.
Okay. So the book is user friendly,
Yes.
and what is the word? Sometimes they use there's computers for dummies. I don't just the word as you know. Should I
Yeah.
say it's cookbook for you know?
You can.
But I'm glad that you say that it's friendly for people to understand. I think
Hmm.
that's important, and that's important to get out there for those who will see the book in places and wouldn't get the opportunity to have the discussion with you, you
Yeah.
know, and open it to see that hey, it's not as complicated as
Yeah.
there's no people hear the word recipe, there's
Hmm.
like this and there, I might be able to get that. So the ingredients that is in the book, you can
Yeah.
find it at supermarket, in the market, and those kind of things, right?
I bought everything that I needed to produce a book locally. I didn't import anything. I didn't buy
Right,
anything on
right,
Amazon or anything of the
yeah.
sort.
All right. So for people who will be interested in purchasing the book,
Hmm.
where can they get this book?
So as of right now, the book is at Paper Based Bookstore in St. Clair. We are at Farm and Function in Arangwa's El Socorro there. They have the book as well at the Dwight Gonzalez Hair Salon in Woodbrook. We are
Mm-hmm.
at the Naughty Nail Studio in Arima. And we are also online. We do island wide delivery.
Mm-hmm.
So our Instagram is Wellness Kitchen by Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a link to purchase through our Instagram. And there's
Okay.
also a website. It's www.wkbykim.com, and
Mm-hmm.
the book is available to be purchased there. We do both local and international shipping as well.
Mm.
So we do
Oh,
local with TT Post, and we do international shipping with DHL.
okay. So someone could go on a page online
Yeah,
and they could click the link
correct.
and they could already book there online.
Yes.
Right. And then the stores that you mentioned there
Yeah.
physically is there. You can go.
It's physically there as well.
Right. So if somebody ordering from Toko, it
Hmm.
can someone order it be delivered, they could get it delivered.
Yes. As long as TT Post delivers regularly to their area, it can
Right.
be delivered to
Right.
them.
So which means Tobago can get this as well. But I know Titi Post go there as well.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Well, that's excellent. And let me ask this: is there any future projects in the pipeline?
So we are actually starting cooking classes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting it privately. I am part of a gym, Femfort. It's an all girls gym. So there are a lot of amazing women there. Um, so all of us, me myself included, we struggle with what to have for dinner, and it's like, you're trying to hit all of like your nutritional goals, your protein goals, not overeat carbs, not overeat fats. But it's all about like math when you're trying to like eat well. It's just about, calculating your portions correctly. So I'm actually starting off with some of the girls from the gym, and eventually we're gonna open up to the public. But I'm gonna start teaching so that persons could learn. If you have a condition, if you want to reduce salt, if you want to reduce your fat, if you want to increase your protein, um, there are different classes that you would be able to come and learn. Not just how, it's not going to be like a sushi class where you just come and learn how to make sushi And okay, now you know how to make sushi, but then what? You know? So it's gonna, much like how I wrote the book, the class will be similar where people understand how to cook. So that way, depending on what's in season or what they have like left over in their fridge, like it's not a situation where, oh, well, I can't make this recipe because I don't have all the ingredients. And I find what tends to happen as women when we try to change our diets, we go out to the supermarket, we spend an excessive amount of money and try to recreate the wheel all on the same Saturday afternoon. And then our enthusiasm dies by like Monday evening. We have all these ingredients that we purchase, we spend so much money on, and we're buying food by Wednesday because we don't know
Yeah.
what to make. And then for the half hour that we have to spend researching what to make with the ingredients. So I really want to empower people to know that you can make anything with what you have. Like you can make the food taste good without all of these prepackaged sauces and prepackaged items from the supermarket. And there are things that we could use naturally for flavorings to like make food taste good, make it good for us, and also reduce the amount of money that we spend. Because I don't think we notice how much money we spend on things that we should not be eating in an effort to make food taste good.
Yeah, and that is well said, Kim. And I'm glad, and it's good to hear that you say that you're having cooking classes,
Yeah,
right? But it's not just the typical cooking classes. It's things that what people will deem leftovers.
yeah,
You could show them how to, and I actually like
yeah,
that. And secondly, you mentioned, if someone come and they say, what, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, or I
mm-hmm,
have hypertension, you could assist in helping them prepare a meal that they could taste good and is
yeah,
healthy, and would not raise the blood pressure or spike the blood
correct.
sugar, right? And that is amazing. And I don't know if you have any recipes that get that in the book, but
Mm-hmm,
that by itself to me, because
yeah,
on this journey that I'm on, I have bounced up so many people with diabetes in particular, and wanting to eat, feel normal and eat normal-ish, or eat something that tastes good but is healthy, and not going to, as soon as they finish, they have to go pop a pill, or they're
mm-hmm,
feeling bad after. And that's something is really don't sit well with me. That's why I try to educate people, and not just educate them, but I have people who, like yourself, who
mm-hmm,
provide the service to really
yeah,
work together with them, so they can live
correct.
a healthier life, and they can live a life and still enjoy their life outside of
Yeah,
the condition that I was diagnosed with. Yeah,
correct.
you know,
Correct.
and
Yes.
and another thing you mentioned, what I had to ask, obviously, because I'm a gymmer, I didn't know you have an all girls gym. Talk to me.
Yes.
Yeah, get me with that
So
one.
I have a friend, her name is Sana Andrews. So she recently opened about a little over a year ago. She opened an all girls gym up in the East, and it has been amazing. A lot of people sort of like turn up their face. They're like, why would you want to go to a gym with all girls? How does it feel? Like what does an all girls gym look like with like all of that female energy in one space? But I don't think I've ever been in a space of all women for so long because I've been with them for maybe 8 months now. And these women empower each other every single day. Like there's never a day in the gym where it's not vibes. Like we compliment each other, we push each other, we support each other, and it's just an all around like very kind and empowering space. And we also like help each other. Like anytime you have like an issue, if you're looking for something, if you need a resource, it's a safe space where you can ask a question and someone will offer to help you. um and I think I did not think I would be this comfortable when I transitioned there. Not that a regular gym is like an unsafe space, but I find that when I go to like a regular gym, I've been in the gym for like 14 years. As women, we do not speak to each other. So like I've been to multiple gyms and I've never had gym friends. Like we even Sana, she and I used to go to the same gym before she opened her own gym. And I would see her every morning and I would not speak to her. She would not speak to me. And I find like when you go to those bigger gyms, you don't really like work together. Everybody's there to do their workout and leave. And even
Mm.
though, yes, at Femfort we go to do our own workouts, it's never, we never do it selfishly. So, yes, everybody's there to work out. Yes, everybody has their goals, but we also help each other because I find in life, you always need help. Like, you will always need help with something. There are days you're not going to want to go. There are some days where you need encouragement. And there would be some days where you need grace, where you might feel like you didn't lift as heavy as you wanted to, but there's somebody that lifts less than you that's still think that you're doing amazing. So it's a really amazing space. And I really like, I hope there are more spaces like that where people, not just women, men as well, that the gym, because so many of us are fighting to be in the gym. So many of us have a gym life. Like it's part of your life. You are dedicating so many hours of your life to be in the gym. So I think it's important that we start being kinder to each other in the gym because we're all there to achieve a goal. Like why can't we help each other to get closer to the goal? Because if we do that, we might all get there faster.
Yeah. So as I
So,
said, for me, I've gym all over Trinidad,
mhm,
and I still go based on what I do. And
mhm.
apart from now, I did know had an all female gym in the east, and
Mhm.
it sounds exciting. I mean, it was me, but I'm a guy. Obviously, I there's a X on me. So it will be nice to have that person come on my podcast to talk about reasons why. Though I could think
Okay.
of some reasons why, but I mean it's good
Yeah.
because I mean to promote it to help is fine and that's okay. And
Hmm.
I applaud it. I think it's a good idea, and and you're correct. We need more space for different reasons, but it's a good thing I think. And I think if I open my all male gym, I may not get the support as you get it. Men, gym and men, and they like to see still, little female
Yeah.
here, female there, right? It don't really, but
Men
it
like
really,
to men like to portray that they don't need a safe space.
yes, that's a different podcast, right? But you so correct because we are still working on I and other friends of mine, those kind of conversation, and you said it
Mhm.
to end it right there on that note, not the
Mhm.
podcast, but what you mentioned there.
Yeah.
We like to pretend that we don't
Yeah.
need a safe space, and you're so 100% correct. You
Yeah.
know, so future projects. I know you mentioned that already.
Yeah.
What other fruit or vegetables that you think pique your curiosity that maybe down the road you might think you might want to just what I mean?
So, I mean, y'all could probably look out for something with mushrooms coming soon because I love mushrooms. I actually, everybody asks me, like, what about book two? Because I already made everything in here at least 400 times, right? So, 100 recipes times four. Everything here has been made. I've made beetroot at least 400 times in the last couple years. So I obviously started writing down what I wanted book two to be, even though
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah,
writing book two right now.
yeah, that's okay. That's
But I
okay.
do have like a couple ideas for books. So I wrote down like 50 concepts for like a meatless Monday, but mushroom meals. Where, so like this is just recipes, like dishes, right? So you would have, say, pancakes, but you have to pair the pancake with something. There are some complete meals, but there are just some dishes. So like the rice pilaf, you have to eat the rice pilaf with something. So the idea with the mushroom book was it would be complete meals. So it's like a 30-minute mushroom meal. In 30 minutes, you get to use the mushrooms and you thing. I'll probably not write that book, but there are some recipe ideas from that book that y'all may see soon. So y'all could like look out on my Instagram to see what we have coming up with mushrooms. And I also really would like to do something for the girls. Like I think we follow a lot of what is online in terms of diets and eating, but the people that we look to for these recipes and for meal prep ideas are not Caribbean. They are not our ethnicity, they're not our body type, they don't have the same genetic makeup as us, and it does not work for us in the long run. So I really want to work towards changing that narrative where we eat more of our cultural foods, things that we were genetically designed to consume, things that we produce. I love local. Like I there are so many things that we grow here in Trinidad that people don't even know we grow. And I think it's important for us to start looking at the food that we produce and eating more of it because there's nothing better that you can eat than what is produced in your region. So that
Mm.
would give you the best nutritional outcome. And I'm really, really passionate about that. So I am looking forward to do more work in showing people how to meal prep, but meal prep as a brown Caribbean person and see the results eating the things you grew up eating and enjoy eating.
Yeah, and first of all, I would say that I am also a mushroom lover,
Hmm.
right? And one of the things that I think people struggle with, the people who training or watching the calories and the
Hmm.
protein and all of that, and the people who want to come on board, right? To whether it's to gain muscle, to lose weight,
Hmm.
I think it's the recipes is the problem. You know,
Hmm.
I based on my circle and people I'm around, that's the problem. So, for instance, you know, a book with you can prepare carbs meal like
Hmm.
you know, protein apart from dairy protein, whether it's quinoa, whether it's, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? So I think even people in the gym, is like they must go to the meat now. And I
Hmm.
think you should know that there's other option. You can get protein from
Yeah.
outside of the dairy in particular, right?
Yeah.
And you mentioned something there, and you're correct. We adapt this Western style with eating, and it's sad because it's given us a lot of sickness, and
Correct.
we moved away from the traditional cooking and recipes and ingredients that we grew up on from our grandparents and parents, and we
Correct.
adapt this fast way, this quick way, as you mentioned earlier in the conversation. Package everything in a pack, everything in a pack. This pack meals and pack ingredients. We have
Yeah.
everything in the garden, right? The
Correct.
best
Like
seasoning is in the
our
garden.
food is so nutrient dense. Like when you think of Caribbean food, it is so nutrient dense. Like yes, I know we have pilau and we have oil down, but oil down is not the only thing you can do with breadfruits. And oil down
Yes.
also does not have to be unhealthy. You could up the bhaji and the oil down. You could reduce the coconut milk. You could take out the pigtail. You could pair it with something like a baked fish. Add a little bit of salad at the side, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that meal. So there are so many things that I think are local and belong to us. And I think we really do need to go back to what belongs to us. And there's this notion, like people fight me out all the time with the local foods I put, but those people are not my clients. And my clients have a big appreciation for what I do with the local food. But I'm like, who said you had to eat roti with tomato choker? Who said I add chickpeas to eggplants to make like a sauteed eggplant and chickpeas? Because you could eat chickpeas and eggplant, and that is an excellent meal for you. You could add chickpeas to fish, curry it, and it is a high protein option. It is low in fat, and it is very nutritious and good for you. Like there are a lot of things we can do with the things that we like to eat that belong to us and achieve the goals that we are trying to achieve. and also reduce, like you said earlier, like there are a lot of people with diabetes, there are a lot of people with hypertension, high cholesterol, and we really do need to be a lot more mindful of the difference in our lifestyle versus the lifestyle our parents and our grandparents had.
Yes, and what I would say, I agree with you 1,000%, Kim, because that supporting local ingredients, the local vegetables, the local fruits, everything, because we have strayed so far from that now. We strayed very far. All of a
Yeah,
sudden, we are this what's called the thing, ramen and this and that and all that
correct.
that add no nutrition value to one body, zero, right? It actually make it in the long run get you more sick than anything else, and
Correct.
we embrace that as a fast seller, right? So we need people like you to really be advocate for going back to tradition. And just so you mentioned, oil down don't have to be pigtail. Are you correct? Because when we hear about oil down, the first thing come to our minds is pigtail, breadfruit. Nobody really talk. Well, it don't have to be the pigtail. It could be a
Yeah.
fish. It could be some bachi, and that's excellent. But we really strayed. And part of what I'm doing, Kim, and I'm glad that I met you. And I meet so much people like yourself in different field of wellness, is
Mm-hmm.
because what I found too is that a lot of people suffering here based on lack of information. Why is the
Yeah.
internet is open, but people
Yeah.
still like we living in a box and believe just
I mean,
what we yeah.
I'm part of the problem because I guess because the thing is like I guess if people like us, you are doing an excellent job doing it. I'm now about Elijah and they are pushing me to be out there more. But I guess part of my responsibility will be to be on the internet more because, again, it's not that people are unwilling to make a difference or make a change, but you are right that when they go online, they're not seeing us, like, they're not seeing us meal prepping okra and bhaji and
Correct,
making ambodi
correct,
on internet, and
correct.
therefore they are forced to do what they're seeing. So perhaps I can help with that and try to be have more of an internet presence so that people do have an outlet to learn and to understand more um, about the
Yeah.
small changes that they can make at home. Because I think we really, really, really need to start make the changes have to be at home.
Yes, and you correct people like yourself to get out there, Kim. And one of the things I often say as well, Kim, is that when you're driving from down in West Carolina to Reno, Brandy, or whatever, or you're going from Grand Bazaar to South, the amount
Mm-hmm.
of billboard you will see with
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy food
Yes.
advertising, I don't think it's every big billboard I've seen. I just check and I just look at it. If it's
Mm-hmm.
not things that is not healthy to drink, it's things not healthy to eat. And somebody is stranger, somebody big fast food outlet who don't need advertising still advertise.
Yes.
And you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And people like you and others like yourself who have all the information, who do all the right thing to help the community live longer, live healthier, and not being seen. You're not being heard, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you may not have the budget as the big companies to put a
Yeah.
bill, a 20-foot billboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the internet is free. Based on what we're
Yeah.
doing here, the
The
information
internet is
of
something.
is free for now, because they will always try to muzzle people like you and me
Yeah.
from deterring people from going down the dark hole that they're going down in, right?
Yeah.
To come out to the light, because I'm very passionate about what I do, because of I have family who died from lifestyle disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people suffer and still. And
Mm-hmm.
if I can create an avenue where people
Mm-hmm.
get information and see the people that can help them, you know, uh, physically, nutrition
Yeah.
wise, mentally, all of
Mm-hmm.
that is in one. If because since I started the scheme, I have appointed people in some direction in with doctors who believe in natural medicine, right? Doctor nutrition people who provide you know these nutritionists and those people,
Yeah.
and people look at the podcast and it's like, Vic, I saw that person was in your, can I have a number, please? I've done
Yeah.
so many of that. And I feel
Mhm.
good to know that I can at least help a couple of people. I can help
Yeah.
everybody, but whoever looking and following me and supporting me, and it's
Yeah.
growing. My movement is really growing, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that. Thank God for that. Also, it guides me in the right direction. For people like yourself, I
Yeah.
am going to supporting all that I can do in my anywhere that I'm going. And as I
Mhm.
said, where Fortress is going, because I appreciate wellness. And one of the things I forgot to ask, I don't know if you want to mention the cost of the book. Can you?
The book is 400 cc.
Right. I just want to check because, there's a bit of followers just follow me. So for
Yeah.
those who look and I could say, all right, 400 TT. And
Yeah.
I saw that book and it's really a thick book though. You make that book really thick, you
Yeah.
know, and the quality of the book based on what I saw personally is nice,
Yeah.
right? So, I could tell it had a love went into that. It had
Because
a,
my goal, I did not just want to write another cookbook. It is an excellent coffee table book. It is beautiful, but I want people to use it. A lot of time and effort went into here. Every single recipe I plated myself multiple times to get perfect shots, but we put a lot of work into here because again, I'm new to the internet thing, but my work is in here. And if you can't get a message from me on the internet, you can get a lot of messages from me in here, and I promise you, like, there are a lot of things in here that even if you just pick two recipes that you like and you meal prep those and you include it on your meal prep rotation, it will make a difference and it will help you.
yes. And I just want the viewers to know as well, Kim, we talking about book for almost an hour. We also provide healthy meals, yes?
Yes.
All right,
So
so yeah.
Wellness Kitchen by Kim is actually now on Food Drop. So we are there Monday to Friday from 10:30 to about 3 p.m. And for personalized meal prep, they can always send us a DM on Instagram or reach out to us via email or telephone contact. Everything is on the Instagram page, everything is on our website. So they can always reach out to us if they do need personalized meal prep catering.
Mm-hmm.
So we deliver 2 times a week, which would be Tuesdays and Fridays. We send out a weekly menu. And you can get us through that. And then we also do catering as well. So we do cater events, we do corporate catering because we think it's important at work as well for you to make a conscious decision about what you eat and what your office provides. So we actually really love doing corporate catering because at least, like, I feel really good knowing that the people eating their food, they're getting a full serving of all of their food groups when they eat a meal from us.
And I'm glad that you said that because, as we know, a healthy employee, you know, give you more,
Yeah.
less time off, less
Yeah.
sick leave, right? So you're helping that less doctor bill.
Yeah.
Your health start and end to me in kitchen,
Yeah.
right? And as I always say this, based on what you eat will determine how your future
How you
health will
feel.
be and how
Yeah.
you feel. And there's a saying that I say from time to time on little reels that I do. You know, either eat your food as a medicine, or as down the road you'll have to eat your medicine as a food, right?
Correct.
And it starts in the kitchen, and it
Yeah.
starts with people like you, Kim,
Yeah.
and you making a conscious effort. You have made a conscious effort, right, to really make a book apart from the wellness kitchen that you have providing food. You went beyond
Yeah.
to for people who may not order the food, but at least they could buy the book and have the
Correct.
recipe, because some people do like to cook and try
Yeah.
different stuff.
Yep.
And again, I will endorse and recommend people, men and women, No matter Kimberly, go
Correct.
to all female gym, purchase the
Yeah.
book, purchase the book, and learn. Even men, learn how to cook your healthy meals,
Yeah.
because I myself need to learn, because I actually purchase healthy meals, and the little things that I do, I just eat it, but it doesn't taste good, but I eat it because it's healthy-ish, you know.
Yeah.
But so what you do is very amazing. I just want to say, Kim, thank you for making the time. Before we close, is anything you want to say before close to the viewers? Just go ahead, feel free.
I think we covered pretty much everything, but they can find us at Wellness Kitchen by Kim on Instagram, and our website again is www.wkbykim.com.
All right. So, Kim, I want to thank you for coming. This was
Thank
an
you for having
amazing session.
me.
I learned so much more than I mean, senior, when I met you, and all of this is a lot,
Yeah.
that you do. And, you were amazing then, and you're amazing now as speaking to you. And,
Thank
we will keep in touch, because
Yes.
I doing my thing on one side, and you
Yeah.
actually feeding the putting the right thing in people's mouth on the other side.
Yeah.
So I will, you have my support 1,000%. I agree with everything that you say.
Hmm.
You're very knowledgeable, but what you're talking about based on what you're doing, because I've been around in the wellness field a while, and
Hmm.
thank you for making the time. Continue to, fly that flag of wellness high, and I look forward to seeing you more on social media out there, right? And later on, I will have you back, on my
Yeah.
podcast, promoting your new book or anything else that you want, anything else that you want to do, right? So,
Yeah.
Kim, thank you so much,
Thank
and take
you.
care of yourself, and may God bless. Yes.
Thank you.
Right. So that was Kimberly Forrester, amazing person. So this is your boy Vic here, Fortress Fitness Lifestyle Podcast. Take care, and I'll see you next week with another amazing guest.